Welcome to another round of SDH's coverage of the USL Championship. Time to take a peek at the matches this weekend. But before we go there, let's go back and take a look at the match of the week from last week. Very, very busy week with schedule compression. You had midweek and you had weekend. This week, we'll take a peek at the Miami FC and Charleston Battery. Going into the match, the Miami FC was a minus 106. Your draw is a plus 257. Charleston on the road at FIU and Boca was a plus 259. Miami comes out with the exciting 3-2 win. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at the USL Championship, ESPN Plus and YouTube.
It was such a big part of that midfield for the Battery. So here we go. We are underway from FIU Stadium. A beautiful early August evening as we are now flip the calendar on to August. Sparrow in a tough spot as he just has to send this downfield. Here's Leland Archer. Is headed forward. It might break for DeQ Daly, who just squeezes this by Sparrow, and Charleston gets the opening goal. What a start for DeQ Daly. Yeah, pose for the camera. 1-0.
And it's all about this first touch. Cheeky first touch with his head to get by Chapman Page. No
goal score already. Able to slip this in behind. It's Zico Lewis. Lewis scores! Another counter-attacking goal for the Battery.
What a goal from Charleston. If you're Miami, that's the dangers you have. And these last 2 minutes are super important for Miami, believe it or not. If they can knock a goal in here we go.
Well, here's Martinez, and there is that goal!
Well done, 2-1. What a big goal that is for Miami going into halftime. Both goalkeepers are having great games with their feet. Kaminsky hit here we go.
Francois, end-to-end action for Miami FC.
What a ball from Baggio to see the running of Francois. And it's all composure. That's
like Baggio just lost his footing. Nothing doing there on the counter-attacking opportunity for Charleston. Whistle blows and some pushing and shoving back behind the play, and the referee needing to step in. And that's a straight red card to Robert Baggio. His whole sequence.
A little bit of frustration there. Does not get the call there, and then hand to the face. That's a big no-no.
Billy Forbes. Forbes scores! There's the winner for Miami FC, potentially. Late on, 3 unanswered goals. Forbes buries it.
For Forbes, and this is something you cannot teach. The class to bend it up and over the wall, to put that out of the reach of the goalkeeper. What a goal from Billy Forbes when his team needs him most.
Maybe the last chance. Patterson curls this in. Falls kindly. It's blocked down. DeRosa nearly had a chance. Antonelli puts this out of play. That is the last action. Miami comes from 2-0 down to earn a 3-2 win. What a win for Paul Dalglish and Miami FC.
So after that win in the Atlantic Division, that's where we'll start things off with the standings heading into the weekend. Pittsburgh, 16 matches played at 9-3-4. We'll catch up with Alex Dixon. They've won 4 of their last 5. He is the anchor leg this week, so we'll catch up with Pittsburgh in just a little bit. Tampa still has not drawn a match this year. 9 wins, 6 losses, 27 points. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Miami, now the Miami FC, they've won 3 of their last 5, unbeaten in 4 of their last 5 at 8-3 and 6-17. They're at 27 points. They're behind in goal difference. Hartford Athletic is 4th, 24 points. Charleston at 21, Charlotte at 19. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Red Bulls lost 2 in a row. They're at 13 points. Loudoun United at 2-13 on the year. They have 6 points. Central Division. Lou City, they've won 4 of their last 5, 10-3-3 at 16 points at 33 points. Birmingham, 15 matches, 29 points. And then the fun begins. 3 through 8 separated by 5 points coming into the weekend. FC Tulsa at 19, they've lost 4 in a row. Indy 11, up and down in their last 3. They've ticked off 1 of each. They have 5 wins on the year through 15 at 19 points. Memphis, 5 wins through 13 matches. They've won 3 of their last 4. Atlanta United, 2, currently in 6th at 18 points. Oklahoma City Energy at 18 points. Sporting Kansas City, 2. They've lost their last 2. They're at 14 points with a goal difference of -10 and a record of 3-5-9. Out west, Mountain Division. El Paso, they've won 3 in a row, won 4 of their last 5 at 10-4-1. They're at 34 points. RGV at 28, Austin Bold at 23, New Mexico at 22, then Colorado Springs at 21, San Antonio 21, Real Monarchs at 13. Pacific Division, it's Phoenix right now, 10 points clear of everybody. Phoenix has won 4 in a row. They're at 35, goal difference of +25. Orange County, they won their last time out at 7-4-5. They're at 25. San Diego's at 24. Tacoma is at 18 after drawing 4 of their last 5. Sacramento is at 17 points. Vegas at 16, ahead of Los Dos with a goal difference of -5 and 4 wins. Oakland Roots at 11 matches played at 1-3-7. They are at 6 points. They have lost 4 in a row. And since we mentioned Pittsburgh, it's time to catch up with the Riverhounds with their recent run of form. Second in the Eastern Conference at 30 points. They've won 3 in a row. Last time out, a 3-1 win over Hartford Athletic. Here's our conversation with Alex Dixon.
Go through the goals from the last match and what happened and what it was like to put the ball in the back of the net more for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, the first goal, we ended up winning a free kick on the opposite side of the field. Ended up retaining possession. I think Danny Rivera threw it into Decoy. He bounced it back to him. And then he played the ball back to McKellar. He took a great first touch, picked his head up, picked me out back post. I was able to sneak in and make good enough contact to put it in at that far stick and not really give the keeper any chance. So that was the first one. I think that was a good all-around team goal, which we've been scoring a decent amount of those lately. In the second one, I think Hartford hit a deep free kick. We won the first ball. Danny Griffin brought down the second ball, played it back to Shane. Shane had a good outlet ball to Russ. He was able to turn, play me in the space, and then I just kind of took it from there, just kind of waited for a little bit of help. And they kept kind of sort of backing off a little bit, and I saw a little opening. Took a shot, and luckily it went in, for the winner. So that was a good feeling. But, again, that was another good team movement, from back to front, I think like 10 to 15 seconds or something like that. So it was a nice quick counter for us. And then after that, Louis got another great goal for himself. So it was a good team performance, happy with the result, and, we're happy with the 3 goals.
Well, and in just talking to you here over the last 30 seconds, I mean, how many different guys did you name that were involved in each of the goals against Hartford?
I feel like in every single goal, it's either 4 or 5, 6 different guys. So, I mean, everybody's getting a touch. We're all, it's not just the attackers, it's the midfielders, it's the defenders that are getting involved. So it's good team goals going around. So that's something that we work on a lot in training, something that we want to keep on doing.
What's it like to be in a rhythm where it's a lot of different guys touching the ball, a lot of different guys getting things set up for net? And then I know obviously you were the benefactor twice against Hartford, but what's it like to be in this kind of a rhythm right now in Pittsburgh?
It's good because it gives us a lot of confidence, knowing that, whatever situation that we're in, that we could, potentially get goals out of it, and that it's not just relying on the forwards to create something or the midfielders to create something. We got one of our center backs whipping in, across that I'm sure any winger, forward, anybody would be happy to put in themselves. So, it's a good feeling knowing that goals can come from anywhere at any time for us, and that we're getting everybody involved. And that's something that we got to keep on, keep working at, and to keep on ensuring that we're doing every game to give ourselves a chance of, scoring more and winning more games.
And being at the top of the ladder right now in the division, I mean, you guys are on a pretty good run of form right now. In addition to what you're talking about offensively, what have been some of the other keys for someone who hasn't been able to catch Pittsburgh play, whether in person at Highmark or on platforms? What's been the keys in addition to a lot of folks getting engaged offensively?
Just being more solid defensively as a team. It's the same thing, same concepts playing for Bob Litt. It's not just the attackers and the midfielders, defense. We're all a cohesive unit. And I think we're starting to get more on the same page with that. And we're limiting other teams' chances, limiting them to 1 or 2 good chances a game, which is, always good to have. And, I think that we're just starting to click at the right time. It's been a lot of different guys coming in. It's essentially a brand new team, more or less. And we're starting to figure out each other's movements and tendencies a lot more. and like knowing the communication is still there, but it's becoming more automatic as a group.
Well, and I think that, and obviously you're reading my notes here, but getting a lot of these different guys into play, it takes a while to get into that rhythm where it's instinctual instead of where you're having to think about, okay, where does this guy want, the ball sent, how do I want the ball to be received, those kinds of things. When it comes to this in-game match sharpness rhythm, where do you think you are? Are you there, or are you guys still learning your relationships as we get closer to the halfway point?
I think that we have we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer, but I think we have another couple of levels that we can reach. So it's good that we're, getting results and getting to the point that we want to be. We're at the top of the table now, but we're not happy with that. We want to hopefully maintain that for the rest of the season, but we're taking it game by game. But yeah, it's I think that we definitely have another 2, 3, 4 levels to go before you can see like our full potential and where we could be at as a team. So that's good for us to know that we have another couple of levels to kick on to and reach, but we have to keep on working to ensure that we get there and not rest on our laurels. We've had a good run of form, unbeaten in July, but that's not something that we can't take for granted. We have to keep on building on that and, keep on putting the work in every day and train.
What's that next thing that can be attained? You mentioned another couple of levels that you think you can get to as a club. What's that next thing that you can knock off the list and sit there and say, okay, we're at level 1. Now we're at level 2. What's the gap there, and what needs to be changed to where you can sit there and say, okay, we've accomplished this, we're at the next level? What's that next thing that needs to get ticked off the list?
I would say from like an offensive perspective, just, we had 6, 7, 8 great chances. We could have scored 5 or 6 goals this past weekend. And instead of having, to have 9 or 10 chances, just being more clinical with those chances that we get. And then obviously at the other end, we can, get more clean sheets, but that's an entire team thing from front to back. So I think those are probably the next 2 marks that we can hit. And, the more that we do that consistently, the better results that we'll have. And, we'll score more goals, give up less goals, and it's just going to keep on, continuing on with that. So that's, I think, our next step is just being more clinical and then, limiting chances at the other end, which we're starting to limit more chances, but we can start getting those clean sheets and everything. That'll be another big step for us.
What's it like learning from a guy like Coach Lilly? Because I know that the first impression when folks gravitate toward Pittsburgh and Coach Lilly is that defense. And you've mentioned defense, but you've also mentioned the fact that the offense is clicking fairly well right now. What's it like to learn from a guy like Coach Lilly?
You're learning something new every day. He doesn't let you get too comfortable, which is good because, once you get comfortable, you kind of stop growing as a player and as a person. But he doesn't let anybody get too comfy. We're constantly in practice, whether it might seem like it should be a welcome back day or something. It's 2 days after a game, we're in there, we're working. We're not just coming in there just to mess around and do whatever. He's always want us to work and to learn and get better each and every day. And I think that's why he's so successful and why his teams are always good. And I think that's one thing that, guys kind of expect coming in, that you're going to come in, you're going to work, and you have to, be willing to learn each and every day.
What's the first lesson that you learned from him that has stuck this season?
This season, it's my second time back playing for him, so I would go back to all the way in like Rochester in 2014, 2015. It's just, I can't be content being a good offensive player. I got to be willing to do both sides of the ball, playing all around games. So I think that's kind of stuck with me since then. And he kind of drilled that into me, in 2014, 2015 and there. So that's always stuck. And it's just something that's always in the back of my mind, to where you might be thinking that it's a time to rest, but you got extra 10 yards of work there, it'll save you 30 in the end. So it's one of those little things.
All right. And last question for you. And thanks for hanging out this week on the show.
No problem.
That I like to get into with players, especially in the lower divisions, is the travel aspect. And I know with the game coming up with Charleston, there's travel involved, and some of the flights aren't direct from market to market. Some of the times for travel aren't as fast as they might be in other ways, and there are times where you're having to loiter in airports, that kind of stuff. For those folks that sit there and just think that literally it's, you leave Pittsburgh, you parachute into a market, you're there for the game, you can hit the transmogrifier button, you can sit there and transport, and the Star Trek communicator comes on, you end up back in your place. What's some of the biggest things that folks may not necessarily understand about the life of a professional athlete when it comes to travel and in the USL Championship in general?
We have, some travel days are shorter, some travel days are a lot longer. So it's not like how you said, we're not just jetting off from point A to point B and it's, an hour-long trip. Some days we have 8-hour days, some days it's 2-hour days. Just have to be prepared for anything. Your flight might get delayed on the connection. You might miss the connecting flight and then have to, reroute and catch another one. So it's just, I guess you're kind of always on your toes in the USL. You never know what can happen and you're just prepared for anything. You just kind of go with the flow. You might not think it's ideal at all times, but it could be a lot worse. You know what I'm saying?
How do you keep from turning yourself into a pretzel from sitting on a plane or a bus? And how do you make sure that you're in as good a shape as you can be for a match day?
When I travel, I wear recovery tights. Usually they're like calf socks to kind of keep my legs, a little bit more, I guess, fresh than they would be if I wasn't doing anything like that. But I try to move around a little bit. Try not to sleep too much because that'll mess up your sleep schedule. And just hydrate. You got to make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Whether you're on the bus or on the flight, it's anything, it's just constantly hydrating there. Because, we're going to Charleston this weekend. It's going to be hot there. So, you don't want to be dehydrated by the time you get in. So for me, it's just trying to stay on top of that, maintain that the diet and the sleep regimen and all that stuff. And then just, you learn the more years that you play, like what works and what doesn't work.
Sorry, I fibbed. One more question. For someone who has never seen a match at Highmark, it's one of the more unique environments that you have for soccer in the United States. Two things. One, what are they missing out if they've never seen a match at Highmark? And two, have you ever thought about launching a ball from inside Highmark into the river just to see if you could do it?
What you're missing out on is a beautiful backdrop, very passionate fan base who's going to let you know what's going on from minute 1 to 90. And as far as me wanting to kick a ball back, I think I've done it in practice a couple times this year. So once or twice on purpose, other times just clearing the ball out. It's, it happens. It's one of those things, but still got to chase that ball down.
Let's get you ready for the weekend and some of the juice boxes as we have them on Friday night. 7:00 start. Loudon is a plus 218 underdog at home as Charlotte comes to town. Your draws a plus 280. Charlotte even money at a plus 100. Red Bulls 2 plus 222 as Tampa Bay comes to town. Could be what Tampa Bay needs to cure their ills. Draws a plus 265. Tampa's a plus 102. And Charleston is a plus 227 at home as Pittsburgh goes to Patriots Point. Draws a plus 224, and Pittsburgh is a plus 114. Tomorrow, Lou City at 7:30 is a minus 333, hosting Sporting Kansas City 2 at a plus 802. Your draws a plus 465. 8 o'clock, FC Tulsa and Birmingham. FC Tulsa is a plus 177. At home, draws a plus 252. Birmingham is a plus 140. 8:30, Oklahoma City Energy at Taft, hosting Memphis 901. Is a plus 161. Your draws a plus 218, and Memphis 901 is a plus 175. Thanks to Pittsburgh for lending us Alex Dixon for a couple of minutes to catch up with the Riverhounds as they get ready for their big trip to Patriots Point this weekend. Thanks to you for hanging out with us. That is your look at the USL Championship through the eyes of soccer down here. Enjoy the games. If you can get there in person, get there in person. It's quality football. If you can't, watch on ESPN Plus or find your favorite team and listen to them in your favorite way. For everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy the games.